Even when you are supposed to slow, like if you have been on Kampala Massacre Road now along the stretch of Katonga, sometimes if it is a dusty or sunny period, sometimes the dust is much more than even what you would expect. But you would see people speeding, even when you know that actually in a distance of about maybe close to 10 meters or 5 meters, the other vehicle will stop, and then most likely you will now go into, you'll crash. So there are a number of areas, I must say. If you go to Molago, you will see that we have a number of challenges, especially, like I said, these border related crashes. The picture is not good. You find actually on average, a patient is charged almost 1.8 million per day, um, especially those who have head injuries. And when you compute, like in a year, it's over close to 18 billion affecting, which government spends on this. Now, that's not the only money, but issues of property damage, issues of investigation, the treatment I'm talking about. So government loses close to 4 to 5% of our national GDP. So on average, you find in a year we are losing close to 7 trillion in these road crashes. So it is not a very good picture, I must say, unless we come together collectively and reverse this trend, of which I call upon all citizens, because this is a collective responsibility. Some people will just go to the bar. It is now 5 o'clock. But now you'll find somebody who is in charge of a vehicle, maybe coming out of the office, is going to sit in a bar and start drinking until 10. That person wants now to go on the road. You intentionally know that when you go to this road and you are drunk and drive, most likely you are going to cause chaos, because you are being now controlled by alcohol. You cannot really control the vehicle. Now it is the vehicle controlling you. Even when there are signage on the road, it will not be you actually reading the signage. It will be the signage now reading you. So there are many more challenges regarding road safety. But we think as a country, if we get a number of people, young people, we have had some young people now coming to us in the ministry, even who are willing even to engage in some of these sensitization and also help government to be on the drive to deal with this challenge. We hope this matter will be addressed at different levels. We have multi-sectoral teams, civil society, the media, Uganda Police Force, and all other actors. Our thinking is that if we come together, this challenge can be addressed. You have seen how we, as a country, as government, how we have addressed issues of COVID, even the recent Ebola. Because there is compliance, we want to think that this is something that can be controlled, because it is within our control as Ugandans. If you know that you are going to drive and you should not drink, you know you have a journey, you plan, you don't speed. You know you are driving on the road, you don't carelessly overtake. All these are issues which I think, yes, government is there to regulate you, but we can have self-regulation. And I want to think, Madam Amanya, that these are some of the things which I want to share with the citizens. We understand which direction, if we have to be safe, yes, we will continue sensitizing Ugandans, but also now we must enforce and make sure there is total compliance with these regulations, with these laws. Otherwise, then, as government, we cannot continue watching on, and then it becomes entertainment. Yes, so and so has died, and no, this must stop. But as we do this, we'll continue engaging the public, the citizens. Please, you citizens who travel, especially in these public service vehicles, do not fear. If you have a way of reaching us out or police, do. That's why we have these media platforms. I've seen a number of people using these social media platforms. But you know, we must also use them meaningfully, so that if you have even a friend, you may not have a number for the commissioner, but you could have a friend on your platform who said, "Do you have the number for Katshabe?" You call him. We see this thing is getting out of hand. We'll come in and call police to rescue you. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, we are now trying to restore order, because we think now some of the citizens don't want to control themselves. So we'll come in, do a lot of regulation. Please allow us to disturb you, especially where you want to inconvenience us. We shall also inconvenience you. But we think if we work as a team, because collectively we need to work as a team to see that there is total order on our roads. And please, citizens outside there, you don't need to get worried that these roads are going to get out of hand. No, as long as we work together as citizens, then we should be using these roads responsibly and make them safer.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Commissioner, for that insight. You hinted on the point of schools. What happened was very tragic, and I believe some parents haven't even recovered from it. So someone out there, a parent who has a child in school, would still be wondering, what measures have you put in place? What collaborations have you come up with? Because there was even some rumors that were passing around that some parents didn't actually know that their kids were going for a trip. And also, is there like a certain age bracket for the kids to go on these tours? Are there like some distances they're supposed to cover and stop on, or what are you doing about that?
Okay, what I know is that Ministry of Education and Sports has guidelines, and these guidelines were widely saturated. Actually, when that crash happened, we were all surprised that the head teachers and the education officers, the inspectors are not doing their work, because some of these guidelines, and they are well articulated by the permanent secretary. Those were issued, I think, sometime back last year. Ministry of Works has guidelines which we issued to owners of buses that don't belong to schools. What is required? For example, if you are hiring this bus, your bus must be inspected. The driver must have a badge. You must also have that agreement which you are going to use to take the children, for example, from one place to another. So they are well laid down, and I wouldn't expect, you don't believe this, that even that bus, we rejected it. It was not in good condition before the crash. The driver will refuse to accredit him because he had a long history of crashes. But now somebody jumps with no badge into a bus that is not licensed to take and kill innocent souls. So that's why I was telling you that this is a collective responsibility. I would like to mention it here that we should now come out and start making such cases and make people accountable. Because if you are the owner of the bus, you know that the bus was not licensed. You check a driver, the driver is not accredited, and you want the driver to drive a bus that is not licensed, and it ends up killing innocent souls. The children who died, may their souls rest in peace, could be future presidents, could be future ministers, could be future leaders. So now they are no more. Now, and you'll find now like this person moving freely. So would like now to start putting some of these cases to the owners and explain to the public, be taken to court, be prosecuted, and license your company. Because that's when maybe that's the best language they can hear, if I can say. For the school buses, we have said, do not allow a bus to move out of a school unless it is inspected, unless the driver has a badge, and all other key requirements are provided by Ministry of Education. in line with the guidelines. I am happy now that Ministry of Education has called different stakeholders. We have agreed that we should now put all these guidelines consolidated into one document so that the schools, the head teachers, the heads of institution, the education officers, the inspectors, or RDCs will have these documents consolidated. Then let's see now who says, I didn't see this. And for us as government, we'll continue to enforce. You don't have this, even if there is a special permission by Ministry of Education, they have given you these guidelines. If they are not followed, the driver will be arrested, the owner will be prosecuted, the bus will be delicensed until we see this order. Number two, we think Ministry of Education, I think, and Sports also is going to. But if you look at their guidelines, they are also very clear about which age qualifies to do ABC. Because the first time when we met after that crash, the question was, if I have a kid of less than 10 years and I want to take him or her to long distance, like in Kapchorwa, when he comes or she comes back, what exactly are these children learning in terms of objectives? Other than the kid telling you that maybe I saw the trees, I saw so many vehicles moving, I saw some water, maybe if you are lucky, the kid managed to see the what we call the Owen Falls Dam. Nothing much. So we are also saying, and I'm sure Ministry of Education has this in their guidance. This is very clear. So we think there should be proper regulation. Number two, you are right. A parent should not, even a school, should not allow any kid to move out of a school to such a trip when the parent has not given a letter of consent. It is very dangerous. You can see now what happened. Some parents even didn't know that their kids died in that crash. So it is important. I think now Ministry of Education is very strict on this. And as Works, of course, we are stepping up on this. Our Honorable Minister of Works and Transport has stepped up more directives regarding these PSV drivers and the owners and the school buses. The guidelines, of course, we are going to have also a multi-sector team from government that is going also to look into these guidelines and then incorporate them in the regulations that guide the schools and also public service vehicles. One of the areas we think is that school buses should be painted, should be having one color. So that then, if you come across this bus, you don't even start questioning, is this a public service vehicle? So it should be having that distinct color that will identify it as a school bus. Of course, with the clear words written on the bus. So we think once these guidelines are again revised, the heads of institutions are given these guidelines, district education officers, RDCs, then we don't expect, and we should never have such incident happening where we have our children dying in such a manner as a result of carelessness of some Ugandans who think they want to do business without having such kind of safety aspects at heart. Yes.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you for that elaborate explanation. Of recent, we've seen you've launched different campaigns. We've seen working together with Uganda Police Force. We've seen different officers on the road, Afande Musinga, then Afande Kananwa. They've been doing so well. So we appreciate the efforts that you're doing day and night to make sure that our citizens are safe. But still, on the point of inspection, a citizen would wonder, how deep does this inspection go? Because someone feels like you only check, does the car have a number plate, does the driver have a license, but does it go deep to check, are the brakes okay? Does it go deep to check, is the mechanical condition of the car okay? Like those deep things that we ignore in a car that keep it moving. So a citizen would want to know, is the inspection done thoroughly?
Yes. First of all, government now has what you call automated mandatory motor vehicle inspection services or facilities. In Kampala, we have 4. In Namamve, we have Kawanda, Namalanda, and Nabingo. But we also have 3 more in Mbarara and Guru. In the near future, we will also be increasing these inspection services through mobile kits. But now, what you see on the road or in the bus park, this is what we call like visual inspection. You see a bus that actually doesn't have even lights. You see a bus where you get into the bus and the seats don't have even covers. There are no seat belts. So what you call roadside inspection is not comprehensive. There are some mandatory requirements that are supposed to be in that vehicle, but they are not there. By visual inspection, yeah, you see, for example, the bus doesn't have lights. Then you say, how do you drive this bus past 6 o'clock? So when such happens, these IOVs will automatically register this vehicle, remove the number plate and say, take your bus to the garage, first repair it, and once it is ready, you now take it to that mandatory motor vehicle inspection so that it is. But the other facilities go deeper into this inspection. You look at the suspension system, you look at the general condition of the vehicle, the lights, whether actually they are aligned horizontally or vertically, a number of things that our inspection centers now look at. But most importantly, these are automated systems. So they are not subjective, like you have a human being who is going to inspect the bus and say, then start negotiating, this light is not working, first give me kit to dog. No. The issues of subjectivity are out. You inspect and the report instantly is issued, whether the bus or any other vehicle has issues, mechanical defects, you will get the report. If you have to go and rectify those, you will be given a defect sheet, go and rectify, bring back your vehicle. So what you are seeing, the operation you are seeing, the issue of that inspection you're talking about is actually minimal in terms of what we are looking for. We are looking at, like, for example, these drunk drivers or public service vehicles. Yes, and that's why you see our police are always ready to do that. They will test and see whether actually you are supposed, and as a public service vehicle, you are not supposed to have any single milliliter of alcohol in your body. That's very important. The citizens should know that. Any public service vehicle whose driver is drunk, by default or any way, please report immediately. Number 2, like I said, you'll find some of these vehicles don't have even statutory requirements like route charts, like PSV license that allows you to load passengers. The drivers don't have the badges. Maybe they have been temporarily hired by the bus owner. So all these are issues that we look at, and then also overloading. If you saw the new vision, I think of yesterday, you'll see some of those. That was an operation we carried out at Matuga. And these were 14-seater moving up to South Sudan. But what they are loading on the racks is heavier than the total weight of the vehicle. So we are saying this is unacceptable. Let Ugandans learn how to do business. We have buses, we have trucks. If you have cargo, the two modes should be able really to carry this cargo. But now imagine you have passengers in the minibus. The cargo on top of the rack is heavier than what is in the vehicle itself. Where is the safety aspect? So we said no. This one, we are not going to wait even time for police to whatever. That's why we have these joint operations. We can check. You don't have the statutory requirements. You don't have a few things maybe that are visually proved by the inspection team on these operations. Then we license these vehicles. We suspend them until there is total order. But also beyond that, There are also other categories like border borders, which are also overloading.
Yeah.
All these also, police is also dealing with them. Even other categories of vehicles, you come, maybe this vehicle is not supposed even to be on the road. So kindly, Ugandan citizens, allow us to continue this operation. We are calling upon for your support. We have seen a number of people supporting this. We want to thank you. Those you have seen Sino trucks and other dump trucks. We are saying, why are they causing so much crashes and disorder in the city and the whole country? We want to know what is the problem. And I have given them 60 days. They have started the inspection now. Most of them now are moving for that inspection. We want their drivers. We must accredit them. We must give them badges. Would like the owners of these trucks to issue formal contracts to these drivers. It is a requirement by law for you, the owner of the vehicle, to keep the details and information of the driver at all times. So these people come, know people's vehicles, and they don't mind. You know, they overload, then they want to do everything they think they can do on this road. They think they are the alpha and omega. And we are saying no. Please, the road must be shared responsibly. Everybody has a right to use the road. Fortunately, I have met their leaders, and they all accept and acknowledge that they must actually redeem themselves by having these trucks inspected, by having their vehicles, their drivers accredited. And we have all on the road who want to appreciate that they do business, yes, but not at the expense of safety. The business they are doing, yes, it brings revenue to government. They pay taxes, they do, but let's also realize that when these people die, the tax you pay, the services will not help any citizen if these roads are not safe. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Yes.
You pointed out that you're working seriously on the drivers.
Yeah.
You're working seriously on our cars to make sure they're in good mechanical condition. But someone would argue that our roads need work also.
Well, the roads, like I told you, roads are like human beings. A human being, when you go to if you don't go to the medical facility, you'll get old or you get sick and die. Now, these roads, of course, even when they are constructed, they need routine and periodic maintenance.
Yeah.
So if they are not properly maintained, of course, that's why you'll find they have developed potholes, they have. But also citizens, this is what I'm saying. If you overload the vehicle and you damage the pavement, and then tomorrow you come and you say, government is not doing anything, that becomes unfair. So we are saying, let citizens also learn how to control or regulate themselves, what we call self-regulation. This is what I was discussing with the team from dump trucks and Sino truck, that you are saying the roads are narrow, government should improve these roads, but we are the same people. You are doing what you call sand dripping. Sand dripping is when you get this wet sand, the water that comes from out of sand. It is coming from the lake. It has particles. Those particles are not good for our infrastructure. So there will be pavement crack, there will be everything, and this affects the life of the road. So I appealed to them, I said, if you want us really to give you good roads, then you must also know that you must have acceptable roads on these vehicles so that these roads can spend more years as planned. But a road of 14 years, 15 years, 20 years, you drip for the last 1 year, I can tell you, it will not last even for another 2 or 3 years.
That's
so
true.
it is important as citizens, these are the things we talk about. The other day, somebody called even my minister and said, look, can you imagine some people have started even loading the sand in the middle of the road. Yes, and my minister is very swift. Quickly, I think he has even written to his colleague in local government and the Inspector General of Police to prevail over local authorities at Kayagwe. That Nkozi Road, and then there is another area called, I think, Nabiyanga there. Again, people bringing old sand and then put it near the road. Of course, the damage is extensive, and as citizens, we must also learn to say, can we preserve what has been done by government? We do appreciate that government continues to work on these roads. You can see Kampala. Somebody was asking a question like when I was coming here that, but in Kampala we see all the roads are being repaired. Where is this money coming from? Where was it? Yes, but as you are aware, we also have development partners. The rest of the money is mobilized internally to make sure that these roads are worked on. So depending on the availability of the funding, but also sometimes government comes with a deliberate effort. Kampala is the capital city of Uganda, so you can't leave the infrastructure to deteriorate completely. So there is a deliberate effort to make sure that the entire Kampala capital city and the greater Kampala, the roads can easily be accessed, but also other arterial roads which even connect to the international corridors, like the northern corridor through the northern bypass, you can see they are also being repaired. All this, government is trying to make sure that the roads are motorable and citizens can continue doing business. Yes.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, and thank
you.
you so much, our listeners. Those who have just joined in, I would like to remind you that today we are talking about road safety in our country. And in studio, we have the Commissioner of Transport Regulation and Safety, who is also the Chief Licensing Officer of Motor Vehicles, Mr. Winton Katushabe. So to pick some questions that came in online, Commissioner, we have someone who is called KGK Pro. He's asking, why don't we have heavy trucks out of the business center during rush hours? You find heavy trucks competing with the same space as small cars. What are you doing about that?
PEC, you said this is called who? PEC
KGK.
KGK. Thank you very much, KGK. And I agree with the KGK. We are working with the KCCA. We have actually a regulation, and when government is coming up with a policy, of course, the issue of consultation is very key.
True.
The stakeholders have to be consulted because it has implications. But quickly, the key highlights of this regulation is looking at moving away trucks from the city. Then they can start coming in maybe from 10 o'clock to drop food stuff, for example, Nakasero, these markets, goods and services like in Ichikubo. So all this, once you ban daytime, then you must rearrange and realign to make sure that the businesses are not affected, for especially like where you have like the people in Ichikubo there, also the food dropping like in the Nakasero market. So all this, what we are saying is that we can have, but also the construction in the city. So we are trying to look at how do we balance the two. People continue doing business properly because they must pay taxes, but also safety and reducing congestion within the city center to make sure that some of these like areas and markets, goods and services can be dropped from 10 o'clock maybe up to say 6 o'clock, and then the trucks can move out. This is something that we are trying to finalize with KCCA, and I think once this is done, the public will be informed on how this can be done. Nonetheless, that's why we have a bypass. We don't expect, for example, because we have the northern corridor all the way from Mombasa, a truck is going to say to Kigali or DRC and then you expect it to go through the city center. So Some of these, of course, they know that even going through the city center, will take much of your time. And in terms of the logistics principle of just in time, it is important to actually use a route that is feasible, that can make you move faster the goods from one place to another. But I agree with him or her, I don't know whether it is a he or she, that the matter is being considered by government. Minister of Works is discussing with the KCCA to see how best we can deal with moving goods vehicle from the city center, and they start using alternative routes. But also when they are dropping goods and services, there could be dedicated times to deal with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. As we plan to conclude,
Yes.
what are you doing about corrupt officials on the roads?
Corrupt officials on the roads, you see, like I said, this is a collective responsibility. Please, if you're on the road and you are a motorist, let's now agree on this, ladies and gentlemen outside there, citizens. Do not attempt to bribe a police official on the roadblock, because then you are also corrupt. So please, to avoid all this, number one, that's why we have whistleblowers. If you know that somebody is receiving this bribe on that roadblock, we can use other means of informing government so that we deal with the problem. But you cannot continue bribing these people on these roadblocks, and you say you are going to pay 10,000, then you pass. When they get you and they find maybe you have not negotiated with them, then you say now they are corrupt. Yes, they are, but even you who is giving this money, you are equally corrupt. What can we do? Let's all fight this by saying no. Go and repair your vehicle. Make sure your vehicle is in a very good mechanical condition. If a police officer stops you on the road and he starts asking you, said, this money is for what? My vehicle is in a very good condition. I don't need to pay. I've paid my taxes. I've done ABC. So together, we can fight this corruption. I have seen where action has been taken, especially now, like even in local government. So the public, the citizens have the power to do this. All together, we can fight it when we collectively agree that no more of paying these bribes at these roadblocks. Everywhere we can eliminate this, and I can assure you, if we do this, my sister Maya, this is very easy to do. Let's get these citizens to go there and tell us that, on this roadblock, you can't pass without paying. I can tell you, the following day, you'll see vehicles passing when they are well checked, and where people are not collecting money, and where the vehicles are safe. Then we shall all be responsible for Uganda. We shall be patriotic, and we continue seeing a good Uganda. This is what I can say about this kind of corruption they are talking about.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Commissioner. You can share for us in detail about that campaign that you've been doing, Barabara Salama.
Barabara Salama.
Yes, Barabara Salama. Is it
Yes.
ongoing?
Barabara Salama is not about stop.
Yes.
As I've told you, as a ministry, we have changed the strategy because we think we cannot continue leaving this to police. Yes, police has the overall mandate, but also the law, the Traffic and Road Safety Act, mandates the ministry to do joint enforcement, like where you feel there are some areas or gaps that you can work together with police to address the problem. With this increased carnage, we think there are areas we can work with police and create impact. If you know that there are some vehicles which really don't have these statutory requirements, our officers, and I've agreed with our officers that, now, even my department is more of field-oriented than armchair. So if you see me more in the field, don't say, oh, what is the commissioner doing in the field? No. It is what it means, what this job demands me to do. As long as citizens are safe, Barabara Salama, we are trying to say the citizens must travel safe. The road must be safe. Let's use the road responsibly, collectively, Vehicles we don't have statutory requirements, in very bad mechanical condition, the drivers who don't have the necessary documents to authorize them to drive these vehicles, those who are drunk, those who have overloaded the vehicles, we are saying stop. And as a ministry, we shall continue doing our work with police until there is total order on the road. We'll continue sensitizing the public. It is our obligation to do so. But also, we shall continue enforcing, as I said. If you continue sensitizing without enforcing, then it becomes entertainment. But our obligation is to continue telling the public, these are the do's, these are the don'ts. I want to appeal to the general public that please support our drive. Let's continue fighting this monster. All of us can be safe. The general public outside there, I want to thank you because some of you have started even informing us about some of these challenges. Continue supporting our drive. We'll continue supporting you until such a time we can see that now the roads are safe. Nobody can fear to drive on this road, whether it is 7 o'clock in the night or 10, and plan your journeys very well. Then reduce the speed. My sister Manya, if you look at the causes, major causes of road crashes in Uganda, number one killer is speed. Number two, careless overtaking. The Subaru boys outside there, please, it is your life. It's not about the speed. That monster you see is innocent, but try to provoke it. It will kill you. So let's use our roads responsibly. We have so many of our children that die every day on our roads. You motorists there, if you see that this is a school, move slowly, allow the children to cross, allow pedestrians to exercise their rights on these roads. Then we can all be safe on our roads. And I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Our listeners, thank you so much for being good listeners. You've heard it from the Commissioner. Road safety begins with you. It is you, me, and your neighbor. Stop overspeeding. Be cautious on the road. Make sure that your car is in good condition. Because, like he said, hospital bills are too much. They won't save you. They won't save anyone. So let's all be on the lookout. Let's be your neighbor's keeper.
Yeah.
Commissioner, thank you so much for taking your time to come and share with us.
Thank you.
The questions are still many. Please send them in. As you heard the commissioner, he's not a person who sits on his desk. They have to run and go to the field. So please, we have to let him go. But send in your questions.
But also tell them we shall be coming back.
Yes.
We want to have as many barazas as possible.
Yeah.
So that we can hear from them and be able to provide solutions and also get solutions from the citizens.
Yes, like you've heard, we are going to host him again, over and over again, until you're satisfied that Uganda and our roads are safe to move in. But Commissioner, you had mentioned that there is a line where they can call in, I think. I don't know if you have it or we share it.
I was trying to get the line from, because usually the police has the line. We can, if we can check.
Okay. Our listeners, remember to send in your questions through our all social media platforms. That's our TikTok, our YouTube, our Instagram. We are live. And please feel free to share which person you would like us to host next.
Yes.
As you know, there is a lot that is trending.
So the toll line, toll free, is 0800 199 099. 0800 199 099. This is toll free for police. The one for WhatsApp is 0779 999 999. Yes. So these two, you can call, and you should be able really to get a response. In case you don't, then of course we have other ways also of getting some of these. But we are also encouraging the bus owners, like vehicle owners, like trucks and bus owners, always to put an emergency number on their vehicle. In case of anything, who can they call? And those who have done it, it has saved so many passengers, especially if it is a driver in another vehicle and they see the bus driver is trying to drive recklessly, they call that number and immediately we rescue those passengers. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much, our listeners. You've gotten the numbers. If you don't have airtime to call, they've also put our WhatsApp number. Feel free to take a photo of the driver. Feel free to take a photo of the number plate and share it, and you'll be attended to immediately. You've been a good audience. We shall see you again on the next Baraza. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.